Hi everyone, this is Ansu Sesay with Real Game, brought to you by Basketball Psychology, where we bring basketball and other sports to you in a way that you can easily understand. I'm here with my boy CG, aka C Loading, and my boy Mike.
Mark.
And today we're starting a mini series on the keys to confidence. And the first key that we're going to talk about is preparation. But now I'm going to hand it over to Micah and let him get us started.
Okay, so right before we get into it, I want to go ahead and explain the importance and our reasoning behind basketball psychology. So, we're here to help athletes obtain the physical skill and the mental understanding of their sport to be able to reach their full potential. The formula that we go by is preparation plus opportunity equals success. We take that with us on the court and just everyday life. Whatever you're doing, if you remember this formula, you'll be good and set to go for success. I want to remind everyone, if you're tuning in, to please subscribe to the show. You can go on YouTube and follow us on Instagram, Riverside, and many different platforms. So we're going to go ahead and jump right into it. And our quote for today is, preparation today leads to success tomorrow. The first topic we're going to talk about is how preparation creates an advantage for you.
Like mentioned, creating an advantage, I think in sports, most people look to have an advantage, whether it be physically, mentally, just any type of an advantage is in your favor. And so the biggest thing where you can have an advantage is your conditioning. We see this in the likes of players like Stephen Curry. He's running around all game, running off screens. He can't just, not everybody can do that. And so Steph prides himself in being in peak physical shape. And I believe that whenever you're a well-conditioned athlete, you're able to think quicker, play tougher, and trust your body a little bit more, just because it's not going to break down on you, because you've conditioned and you've put yourself and prepared to be able to be in these moments and produce in these moments. And so you're just able to go beyond your limits and perform more than you would be able to.
Okay, so one of the first steps to preparing, you would say, would be conditioning, right?
For sure. Like that, in my opinion, the conditioning can take you further than your technical skills, because if you can't even stay on the court, it don't matter if you can shoot, dribble,
Yeah.
I
So,
it's important to be conditioned to be at your best.
I know a lot of athletes are not going to want to hear this. Me personally, I hated conditioning, and I know a lot of other athletes hate conditioning. But I feel that what kind of helped me to like conditioning more is I realized that conditioning is more of a skill than a punishment. So, for you to be able to run off of screens and just basically outwork your competitor, that is a actual skill. And it makes the game easier for you. Because if you're tired and I got all my energy, I don't have to do any moves. I'm just going to run past you and go get a layup. It'll just be simple, that easy. And now you're wheezing and getting out of the game.
Not bags.
But yeah, that's kind of my take.
Yeah. Personally, how does it make y'all feel when you know that you're more conditioned than your opponent, and you see them over there on their knees gasping for air, and you still got something left in the tank?
I'm calling you out on the court. I'm going to call you out. I'm going to look at my teammate and be like, yo, he's tired. And you're going to feel it, bro. You're going to be like, dang, he right. I am tired, bro. And I'm coming right at you. I'm going right at you. So I guess that kind of goes with how coaches used to always say, get your hands off your knees and different stuff like that, because you're showing the competitor that, okay, I have a weakness right now, which is my conditioning. So it makes me feel good to see somebody else that's less conditioned than me. So
Yeah, 9 times out of 10, you'll be able to tell, like, A, that they're tired, or two, or B, like, they didn't condition and they didn't work as hard as you. Like, you'll be able to tell. So I think it just gives you an extra boost of confidence just for, like, your mental, because you're like, hey, I see you tired, or hey, I know you didn't work as hard. Like,
yeah,
there's no way you can keep up with me. So for sure, it definitely helps you take your game to the next level.
We can bring in another aspect of that, and with conditioning comes the strength training and being able to, physically see your results and how that pertains to your confidence.
I agree. I definitely think that strength is just as important. The reason I'll say that is because if you're able to just physically oppose your will on the person who is guarding you, or if you're just able to not be moved, it's
It's hard.
yeah,
It's hard.
that's
Hard to do.
it. If I'm able to just run straight through you, or if you're just too little,
We lost Mike for a second.
It's all good. But he was definitely making some good points talking about imposing your will, and just, we see that with guys like Giannis. Like, look at Giannis when he first came into the league. Now his added strength allows him to play a different way. It's just a lot to guard for a lot of players. But you could finish up, Mike, if you had any more else
I
to
forgot
say.
exactly where I was at, to be honest. So
But strength training, man, as Sue mentioned, is big. As you mentioned too, Mike. As we know, basketball, is a physical sport, so you have to be able to play through contact. And as you start to, get stronger and improve your strength, as you mentioned, Sue, and you see this, it definitely boosts your confidence, because you know that your body can withstand being bumped, pushed, or just knocked down. So I think strength training is real important, and it also plays a key role in injury prevention. Strength training, you can target specific muscles, tendons, ligaments, and strengthening all these can make your body and more resilient, can make you more powerful and more explosive as a player. So strength training is definitely something to not take lightly and to focus on in terms of your preparation.
And just like with the conditioning aspect, with the strength aspect, when you know someone isn't as strong as you,
Right.
you're finna want the ball. You're like, this dude little, like, it's a baby.
Right.
Coach, come on,
he
ISO.
Not
needs
strong
help.
enough.
He needs help.
We got a mouse in the house. Come on. I
I
need the
don't know if y'all
balls.
actually
Gives you more.
touched on this part of it too, but definitely strength and building those muscles prevents injuries.
Yes, sir.
And
Most definitely.
injuries are a big part of the game. It happens all of the time, and the people who are able to withstand the 32 games that you're playing in college, or the 82 games that you're playing in the NBA, strength has a lot to do with that. So I just felt like that would be a good
Most
point to
definitely.
make.
Most definitely. And it's not always about being you can be strong without being real big and
Yeah,
swole.
yeah.
Like, just for the viewers and the listeners, like, just because you bulk up and you got real big muscles, that doesn't necessarily mean, you have the functional strength for your sport.
Yeah,
So,
sometimes you will actually lose the finesse that comes with that. Because I know I started lifting one time for 2 weeks straight, and I didn't have any actual goal or whatnot. I was just lifting just to get stronger. And I went in the gym, felt like I had the same shot, and I was shooting it right over the goal every time, bro. Like, I was bad. I was really bad. I said, I'm never lifting weights again. But you just have to know exactly what you're doing, find that balance. Go to a strength and conditioning coach, somebody who actually knows what you're supposed to be doing. So
I think that leads us to our next topic. Second topic for as far as preparation, we got brick by brick, and that's kind of just, you know, laying one brick on top of the other and just continuing that process. The way I look at it, as kind of falling in love with the process, just continuing to do the same thing over and over, whether you see the fruits of your labor or not. Just staying true and staying consistent, and just having faith not only in the Lord, but just having faith and confidence in yourself that it'll work out and you'll start to see improvements and the fruits of your labor.
most definitely. Another point that we can kind of hit on with the preparation part and laying, excuse me, and laying that brick by brick, is stretching is a big part of that. Me personally, this is one of the things I struggle with the most out of the conditioning, the strength, and the stretching part of it. If you don't have that mobility, it hinders you from reaching the potential that you would like to get to in terms of being an athlete. This also prevents injuries, and just continually, this really relates to the brick by brick, because stretching is something that you have to stay consistent with in order to become flexible in a sense. So yeah.
Sure.
When I first met Mike, he couldn't even touch his toes.
I touch toes.
That boy be struggling trying to touch the toes. He be,
I thought it was just your arms, you know, like maybe your arms not long enough, but nah.
Definitely not.
I play first.
But just reiterating on what he said, just being flexible. Flexibility can lengthen your spine. It can increase your vertical, just your explosiveness, just being flexible, your hips being flexible. That's very important in most sports, because you need those hips for any athletic movement. So just being flexible in general, and making sure that you have a routine stretch, that is something that is very important. And just building a foundation brick by brick, just staying consistent in what you do.
I like how you said routine. I think that's the biggest thing. Create a routine, something that you can follow. I think that'll help you. You know, most people just stretch, like, you know, just do whatever stretches come to their mind every day. So you can create a routine and just 15 minutes every day of stretching. Like, it's amazing what you'll see, like how you'll see your flexibility increase and improve if you just dedicate 15 minutes every day just to stretch.
One other thing that I would like to say is, because I hated stretching so much, and this kind of goes into the psychology part of it too, is I always have to find a way to trick myself into doing something. And I feel that yoga definitely helped me kind of clear my mind in a way to where I didn't feel like I was just hurting myself to get flexible. It was actually soothing to the mind, clearing my mental and different stuff like that. So yeah, yoga, I think a lot of people should actually try that if you're not good at just putting yourself through pain to stretch. I feel like that'll be something that someone could actually look into. But yeah. And And something else to kind of speak on, when we're talking about brick by brick, just realizing that this is kind of a visual to how you can get a creative advantage and consistently grow with your preparation. This will continue to widen your gap between the person that you're competing with, whether that is yourself or whether that's the man across the hall. Laying it brick by brick every day consistently, it continues to grow. And if you're thinking about a house or something like that, every day, if you're putting another brick, you're getting closer and closer to where you want to be in life or the type of athlete that you want to be. So,
And I think that would bring us into our next point, putting it all together, and that would be do your homework.
Gotta do your
most
homework.
definitely.
Know what that means?
I hate homework, but it's something that has to be done regardless of it's in school, in sports, just in life. I hate it. I've always hated homework, but important.
Yep. In terms of basketball, ways that you can do your homework will definitely be watching film.
Big thing for film, in my opinion, is you have to know the difference between watching film and analyzing film. When
Definitely.
you watch it, you kind of just watch it from an entertainment standpoint, I feel like. But when you analyze it, you take it a step further and you try to understand why certain things may have happened, understand, maybe what's going to happen next, and just things like that. Film definitely important for improving your game. I think it helps you improve your basketball IQ. Biggest thing, just because you get to see yourself and just see the game from a different perspective than actually being out there and playing.
Most definitely. A big thing, like you said, is how you watch film, what to look for. When you're watching film, when you're watching yourself, watching your tendencies, what your weaknesses are, your strengths, and just being able to play to your strengths. And in doing your homework, when you go back to the gym, you work on your weaknesses and make those weaknesses strengths as well. And I feel like that's a big part of film and learning from it and being confident in what you do.
I agree. Film is definitely supposed to be used as a learning tool, just to help you improve your game, as you said. A big thing at basketball psychology that we emphasize being able to think the game while playing the game. The game of basketball is dependent upon making the right read and making the right decision. So watching film allows you to think the game while you're playing it, which just improves your basketball IQ tremendously.
We got Mike back. I feel like you probably would want to reiterate on some things that we said about film.
Yeah. So one of the points that I was going to make, I'm not sure if you guys actually talked about this or not, but a lot of guys actually think that watching film is basically observing in a way that a fan would. And
definitely can't be scared to, criticize.
Take a deep dive.
Criticize yourself when you're watching film.
Definitely have to actually be a student of the game instead of just observing, knowing why an athlete or a player might have done the move. Yeah, it might have been a good crossover and this guy might have failed, but what angle did he take? Looking at the defender's hips, seeing what the actual offensive player saw, and just observing from a different standpoint than an actual fan would. And once you're able to do that, you're able to actually slow the game down in your mind. I feel that all good players, no matter what level you're on, they're able to actually slow the game down. And once you're able to slow the game down in your mind and it's not as sped up, or the speed isn't as fast as it once was, once you get there, then that's when you're able to grow and become better on the level that you're actually playing on. So
be able to make the right read and the right decision.
Most definitely. Right? Yeah, definitely that. You're able to see yourself in certain positions and become creative. Like, honestly, a lot of times when I used to watch film, I would see, okay, where am I getting the ball at on the court? And where are my opportunities coming from during that time? And once you're able to see your tendencies and see where you're actually getting your chances to score it, then you become more comfortable once you get in the game, because you're like, okay, I've been through this, I've seen this before, and I've slowed it down and I know what to expect. So that's kind of how I'll go over certain things when I'm personally watching films.
I felt that same things before just to a new school this past year and running a completely different offense. It definitely took a lot of film work just for me to understand the offense and to understand how to score and be effective within the offense. And so film study is definitely a tool that can help you with that.
I honestly believe that film is, I might be taking a leap right here, but I honestly believe that film is the most important thing that you can do in terms of being a basketball player. Because you're not always going to be healthy in terms of going out to the court and being able to physically practice. But if you're able to get those mental reps in consistently, then you're still able to get a competitive advantage over your opposer. If you're able to look at who you're going to be matched up against the next game and you study their tendencies, there's nothing that you haven't seen, and you might know them better than they know themselves, because they might not be watching themselves. So it's like, I know what you're going to do before you're going to do it, type thing. And yeah, it's kind of a cheat code, to be honest. And all of the greats will tell you that watching film is super, super important. I even heard that LeBron James watches film with his wife. Like, so that means that he's taking some of his family time to get better than the person that he's going against. So that should tell you that film is definitely important.
I mean, at the highest levels, you see they watch film and during timeouts, like on the bench sometimes, like of the game that's currently going on. So it's definitely important, and it's definitely a heavy emphasis on it.
I feel like this is something we could go over on and on and on about.
Today we talked to you guys about just preparation, the first key to confidence. Next week, guys, tune in. We'll be discussing the second key for confidence, which is efficiency/practice. Again, thank y'all for listening. Thank y'all for tuning in. We appreciate y'all. Like the videos, subscribe to the podcast. Podcast is now available on all the platforms: Apple Music, iHeartRadio, Spotify, YouTube, Riverside. So we got it. Any way you need to listen to it, we got it for you guys. Again, thank you for all your support. And to you guys next week. I got Sue with me, Mike. This is CG, and we signing out.
Peace, one love.
Man.